I'm Sean, and I love music. Welcome to What's Spinning, my regular look at what new records I've purchased over the course of the month, and also what new music has been bothering my speakers. You all know what it's about. Let's just fire straight into it. You want something fast? I'll give you something fast. Complete and total fucking mayhem by the amazing Hellripper. High speed, blackened thrash all the way from Aberdeen. This was released back in 2016 and it's actually a compilation album of all of Hellripper's music up until their first album, Coagulate in Darkness. Great because even early on you can already hear the thrashing, breathless genesis of the band's sound. It's fantastic, it's heavy, it's catchy, and it is absolutely cult as fuck. I love a bit of Hellripper, they're pure dead Scottish. I obviously jumped on the Hellripper train last year with Warlock's Grim and Withered Hags, which was a fantastic album, almost my album of the year. That's complete and total fucking mayhem by Hellripper. Absolutely delicious. Oh, blood incantation, what have you awoken in me? One of this month's purchase has been the absolutely phenomenal Divine Council by Psycroptic. Bouncing, imaginative and endlessly inventive progressive tech death from Australia. This is the band's 8th album, released in 2022. And I'm going to be honest, I hadn't heard anything about this band until this month. For those of you who follow my mainline videos, you know that every so often I like to pick up a guitar, play some of the songs from the albums that I love, and as such I've been trying to improve my guitar playing by watching other guitar players. And I was watching a video by Dean Lamb of Archspire, really great channel, go check it out. I watched a video of his recently where he does that kind of, he picks a random band and then he has to pick a song to learn by that band, and the song that he picked was Psycroptic's Cold, and as soon as that initial riff of Cold kicked in I was like, oh my god, where has this been all my life? It was like equal parts Opeth, but thrash, but prog, but tech death. It was just absolutely wonderful. And then of course, me being me, I had to go and devour the band's entire back catalogue. And the new album, or their newest album, is absolutely stellar. Chunky, it's heavy, it's eminently hummable, it's full of wild ideas, it's full of big solos, big riffs, skittering guitar leads, full of blast beats, time signature changes, fantastic drumming, and they're one of those tech death bands that remember the song in songwriting. It doesn't just kind of devolve into pointless noodling or random noises. There's actual songs to back up the heaviness and the progressiveness. They're such a good band. I'm definitely kind of going through a progressive death metal phase right now, and I'm so glad that I've discovered these guys. And check out this pressing, it's absolutely fantastic. Love a bit of splatter me. So that's Psycroptic's Divine Council, such a phenomenally heavy, imaginative, wonderful bit of music. Those of you who have seen the first episode of the second season of The Albums That Made Me know that this was one of the first records I bought when I first started collecting records, and I picked up a second-hand copy in a wee charity shop for 50 pence. And whilst that wee copy has seen me well over the years, it's starting to get a bit knackered, starting to skip, starting to pop, maybe on a bit of its last legs, but I thought it was about time that I upgraded to a new edition, and it is of course Iron Maiden's mighty Powerslave. Guys, they don't really need any introduction. Iron Maiden are the greatest of the new wave of British heavy metal bands, and this is their greatest albums in my humble opinion. And it is the 2024 anniversary pressing, which means it's a fancy zoetrope. Ooh, it's animated, how very nice. There literally isn't anything I could possibly say that I haven't already said in the video that I did about this album. It's just so incredible, it's victorious, it's uplifting, and it just fills me with such joy, and I'm so glad that I've been able to upgrade it to this new edition. That is of course Powerslave by the absolutely unapproachable Iron Maiden. Mon! Oh no, here we go, Sean's talking about Swedish melodic death metal again. In my never-ending quest to complete my Swedish melodic death metal collection, I picked up another fine edition that is of course Wages of Sin by the mighty Arch Enemy. And this is the band's 4th album, released in 2001, and the first to feature the one and only Angela Gossow on vocals. She more than ably replaced previous vocalist Johan Leva and really brought the band's sound to a new degree of intensity. This is incredibly strong, classically tinged Swedish melodic death metal, of course led by the incomparable guitar assault of the Amit brothers. This is my favourite Arch Enemy record, and I'm so glad that I own it on vinyl finally. Coming in a very on-brand red pressing as well. Lovely. So go on, get yourself back to 2001, grab yourself Wages of Sin by Arch Enemy. Such a stellar record. Next up we have Havukruunu's Rautaa ja Tulta, dark, foreboding, nature-themed, battle-centric, thoroughly epic black metal from Finland. I've actually been deeply loving Havukruunu since 2020's Unos Suomen Sota, I think that's how it's pronounced. They're just so breathlessly epic and absolutely thunderous, and every single release brings something new and wondrous to the table. That's all culminating in 2021's Ku Akilin Ila, which is a fantastic, victorious bit of black metal. These guys are absolutely one of modern black metal's finest bands, and I highly recommend them to you. If you haven't heard them, go give them a look, go check them out on Bandcamp. Their albums are absolutely stellar. That's Rautaa ja Tulta by Havukruunu. Absolutely, breathlessly victorious. Great bit of black metal majesty. We have the Imperious Horizon by Winterfylleth, the 8th album by the band, and the band show absolutely no signs of slowing down whatsoever. I've been into Winterfylleth since about 2016's The Dark Hereafter, and I've always been thoroughly impressed by them. Think big, sweeping, Imperious symphonic black metal in a similar vein to like late Behemoth or early Dimmu Borgir or Emperor. In fact, just to really solidify the band's symphonic heritage, they even include a cover of Emperor's The Majesty of the Night Sky in here. Check out this wonderful glacier pressing. Oh, it's very nice. So if you're looking for a bit of sweeping cinematic black metal, then you can't go wrong with a bit of Winterfylleth. That's the Imperious Horizon by Winterfylleth. Fantastic album. And we have the undisputed master of mid-tier Canadian progressive metal himself, the mighty Mr. Devin Townsend and Powernerd. Yep, I am also deeply surprised that this was not my album of the month. It absolutely says nothing about the strength of this album because it's so goddamn strong. Almost like an apology or an olive branch to his long-term fans before his upcoming release The Moth. This is very classic, heavy metal tinged Devin Townsend at his best. Funnily enough, the album that it puts me in mind the most of, despite Devin claiming it's quite a direct record, is Teria. There's a lot of Teria bits in here, particularly in songs like Falling Apart, Goodbye and Ruby Quaker. There's an etherealness to it that harks back to Devin's really early releases. Devin's releases are always something to be cherished and celebrated, and Powernerd definitely lives up to his incredibly strong back catalogue. I am absolutely thrilled that we have another Devin Townsend album. All Devin Townsend records are always joyously received. Powernerd by Devin Townsend, go and get it now. Thank you. God, picking an album of the month this month was really difficult because there's been so many really good releases. I am not complaining in any way, shape or form. If I get more good music, then it's always a good thing. And one of those records that was definitely in the running was Catafalque's 12. It is amazing how much this band has come to dominate my record player since last year's Alfold, and this album more than meets the high expectations set by its predecessor. I am now of the opinion that the band's main man, Tamas Katai, is a wee bit of a genius. Avant-garde, blackened, progressive death, wee bits of everything mixed up into an absolutely morbid but fantastic form. It's crushingly heavy, sometimes honey sweet, sometimes devastating, always weird, but never anything less than utterly enthralling. If you haven't heard them before, I strongly recommend you check them out, and this album is a wonderful place to start. It's just that strong. That is Catafalque's 12, an absolutely breathtakingly engaging album. And even though this has been a month dominated by heavy and intense music, perhaps the most emotionally devastating and the weightiest album to drop this month is of course the new album by Godspeed You Black Emperor. Although technically untitled, it's been going by the name of No Title as of 13th of February 2024, 28,340 dead, of course referring to the utter genocide that's occurring in Gaza right now. Publications and websites will often refer to Godspeed as a post-rock band or an instrumental band, but that is woefully beneath what the band actually are. They craft just such important music, and it is always it's like continents moving, it's like mountains shifting, it's like epoch defining. And of course, while Godspeed albums usually should be digested as a whole, like the entire album should be taken, this does have some absolutely fantastic standout standalone moments. Dear God, Babies in a Thundercloud is like one of the most emotionally devastating tracks I've heard all year. But Godspeed continue to just be one of the most important bands ever, and with this particular album I think they're really shining a light on one of the most horrific genocides that's happening in our time, and it just seemingly feels like the world is standing back and not doing anything about it. That's Godspeed to You, Black Emperor's new Untitled album. It's utterly essential. I really struggled to pick what was my album of the month, because some releases this month have just been so painfully excellent. The album of the month is exceptional above all those records, and it is of course Chatpile's Cool World. I know other channels and music reviews have been raving about this album, and there's very good reason behind that. It's grimy, bloody, sludgy, heavy, dismal and harrowing sludge metal from Oklahoma. It's really uncomfortable sounding in a uniquely, morbidly realistic way. I've really enjoyed the band's progression from their EPs in 2019, This Dungeon Earth and Remove Your Skin Please, and God's Country absolutely was a fucking phenomenal first album. However, this just takes everything to a complete other level. There's bits of Melvins in here, there's bits of Throbbing Gristle, there's bits of Soundgarden, even bits of Nirvana as well, and it's all drowning in one of the heaviest guitar and bass tones that I've heard all year. And every single song is fucking amazing. I particularly like Frownland and Funny Man and Mask. Mask is such a good, it's so catchy and grimy at the same time. It's so good. And I should mention Regan Bosch's vocals as well. They are utterly throat shredding and harrowing, but he has this unique ability to convey emotions such as sorrow, frustration and mania, and it's like, it really is like a soundtrack for how modern America is right now. And it always helps when the pressing is this gorgeous. This is absolutely amazing. Chatpile are one of those bands that are destined to become absolutely enormous despite their extremity, and I'm so glad that I'm here witnessing it from like the launch pad. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out Cool World by Chatpile. You won't regret it. It is such a stellar album.